In the frozen silence of the Snowpoint Temple, there lies a secret that the modern world has spent centuries trying to bury under the ice. We've always been told that Regigigas is a creator, a master architect that shaped the continents using ropes of grass and dirt. But if you look at the architecture of the temple itself, it tells a story of a horrific trade. Long before the era of modern Sinnoh, before the legends of Arceus were ever written, the northern peaks belonged to a native people who lived in the shadow of a massive, silent idol. This idol was carved from white clay and gold, a hollow monument to their strength. It had no mind, no heart, and no movement. It was a beautiful but unconscious shell that sat at the center of their world as a silent protector that could not speak, a hollow god for a peaceful people. But then came the conquerors. These new people didn't just want to live in the north. They wanted to erase those who came before them. They waged a war of total displacement, and when the native people were finally cornered in their own temple, the conquerors committed a crime against the laws of nature. They didn't just kill the natives. They turned them into fuel. Through a horrific ritual of spiritual engineering, they tore the life energy out of almost every single man, woman, and child of that ancient civilization, and funneled that collective soul into the hollow chest of their idol. In a flash of blinding light and thousands of overlapping screams, the idol woke up, and Regigigas was born from a massacre. This is why Regigigas looks so radically different from any other legendary. It isn't a robot, it's a living graveyard. The moss, the bushes, and the long strands of greenery growing from its shoulders are the physical manifestation of all that stolen life energy leaking from in between its seams. It is an organic supercomputer, a sack of souls, if you will, where the collective intelligence of an entire lost nation lives on. It doesn't process data, but the shared memories of 1,000 lives at once. This intelligence is so vast that Regigigas doesn't just see the world as it is, but as it was, and as it should be. The evidence for this organic nature is hidden in plain sight. In the Pokédex, Regigigas is the only golem with a primary type of normal. Regirock, Regice, and Registeel are pure elements, but Regigigas is classified with a type of life. It possesses a deeply biological presence that the others lack. Furthermore, consider its height and weight. Despite being made of clay, it is significantly more massive than the others, not because of its density, but because of the sheer pressure of the spirits contained within. The ritual, however, was not perfect. In the chaos of the mass sacrifice, as the energy reached its peak, 3 solo souls, the most powerful shamans and leaders of the tribe, were not pulled into the body of the idol. As the ritual reached its violent crescendo, these 3 spirits were deflected, slammed into the elemental treasures and structural foundations of the temple itself. The first spirit was fused into the massive stone pillars that held up the temple's roof, its consciousness merging with the cold, unyielding rock to become Regirock. The second spirit was pulled into the ancient everlasting ice that lined the inner sanctum, its identity freezing into the jagged, sub-zero form of Regice. The third spirit was snared by the steel treasures and iron offerings left at the idol's feet, its essence hardening into the armored shell of Registeel. These 3 were never meant to exist. They are the leftovers of the soul fragments of the same civilization that was stuffed into Regigigas, but trapped in bodies of pure matter. Because they share the same DNA and the same tragic origin as the spirits inside the Titan, they are cosmologically linked to their king. They aren't just independent monsters, they're scouts. They're the only ones who can traverse the world outside, because they aren't weighed down by the millions of souls inside the main idol. They act as a psychic bridge, feeding information back to the processor in the temple. This gives terrifying weight to the slow start ability. When you face Regigigas, it takes 5 turns for those millions of spirits to stop fighting for individual control and focus their collective power into a single physical intent. The slow start is the time it takes for a whole civilization to prepare for war. Once those turns pass, and the synchronization is complete, you aren't fighting a Pokemon anymore, but the unified willpower of a murdered people who have waited eons to break their cage. If you listen to its cry in the games, it doesn't sound like a roar. It sounds like a digital distortion of a crowd, a layered mechanical screech that mimics the sound of 1,000 voices trying to speak at once. This is the Regi language, not of words, but of frequency, the only way a mass of souls can communicate through a body made of earth. Consider the physical design of Regigigas once more. The 7 colored dots on its face are the windows through which this collective consciousness observes the world. Each color corresponds to the elements it can command, but also to the different sectors of the souls inside. When those lights blink, it isn't mechanical. It's the flickering of thousands of eyes looking through a single lens. The conquerors realized too late what they had created. They realized that by trapping a civilization in an indestructible body, they had created a weapon that would never forget the crimes committed against it. This is why the Regis were eventually moved. They weren't just found in Hoenn or the other regions. They were purposefully exiled. The conquerors feared that if the 3 scouts ever returned to Snowpoint Temple at the same time, the combined resonance of their spirits would provide the final burst of energy needed to fully awaken the king and shatter the walls of the temple. They sealed them behind complex braille puzzles to ensure that only the most educated and perceptive of their ranks would ever be able to release the Titan Scouts. This is why you must carry the 3 Regis in your party to encounter Regigigas in the games. You aren't unlocking a challenge, but completing the circuit. You're bringing the eyes back to the brain. When you walk into that basement with a stone, ice, and steel, you are bringing back their 3 lost shamans. The silence of the temple isn't peace. It's the breath held by a civilization that has been waiting for eons to finally stand up and take back the world that was stolen from them. Regigigas is the leader not because it was born to rule, but because it is the only one who can carry the weight of everyone left behind. Even its signature move, Crush Grip, takes on a new meaning in this light. It's a move that does more damage the more health the opponent has, the stronger they are. It's a move designed to bring the powerful down to the level of the weak. It is a physical manifestation of the trapped people pulling their conquerors down into the dirt. Every time Regigigas uses its power, it isn't a Pokemon attacking, it's a historical reckoning. It is the North remembering what was taken. And as long as that moss continues to grow, as long as that life force refuses to be snuffed out by the ice, Regigigas will wait in the dark, calculating the exact moment to move and bury the cities of the conquerors forever. But what do you think? Did you ever consider the dark implications of Regigigas' prison? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Make sure to like this video if you like this video, subscribe to this channel for more Pokemon theories just like this. And this has been Ev, bringing the blaze back. Always remember, keep on blazing, guys.